Let's welcome in now Pennsylvania Congressman Guy Reschenthaler, also known as Guy. You don't have to tell us this time, Guy. We'll just call you Guy. A member of the House.
Sounds good, John. Thank you.
Judiciary and Foreign Affairs Committee. And Congressman, I'm going to stop smiling because this stuff is serious. And the video that Logan was just talking about, we're going to play it here. It is hard to watch. I'm just going to warn everybody. You can see these two toddlers being dropped from a 14-foot high wall here. We know that human trafficking is part of this, but just the callousness, Guy, when you see this video of these coyotes dropping little kids from the top of a wall, this is what we are up against right now, and this is a byproduct of the Biden administration's open border policies.
You're absolutely right. It is heartbreaking, and this is a product of Biden's handling of the border crisis. And by the way, it's amazing they're now calling it a crisis because we were gaslit for weeks when this was called a mere challenge at the border. But if the coyotes are dropping 3- and 5-year-olds from 14-foot high fences, what do you think's happening to the other individuals that are on this trek coming from South America? There's a lot of assaults. There's a lot of sexual assaults. There's murders. Remember, this is being coordinated by the drug cartels and by the coyotes. Again, the coyotes are human smugglers. So this is a very dangerous trek. That's why President Trump and his administration put in place the asylum in place law, where individuals could apply for asylum from their home countries or from Mexico. That would really prevent a lot of the danger in the trek coming to our southern border. And remember, it's just not Republicans in the United States saying this. It's the Mexican president who said a lot of the chaos that they're seeing in Mexico is caused by Joe Biden.
Right. Well, look, we were talking earlier, Guy, about in Chicago and Waukegan, Illinois, they don't want to name a school after Barack Obama because a bunch of immigration rights activists say he deported too many people, deported more people than President Trump. And the reason why he did that is because they didn't really, they sent the same kind of message. They had these crises as well. But once President Trump instituted his zero tolerance policy, the message got out and people stopped coming. Now, we were talking about the toddlers thrown off that wall. We have, again, also very difficult video to see. And we're talking about how callous and cold these smugglers are. This is a little 6-month-old baby that was dropped into a river. Fortunately, the Texas Department of Public Safety was there to get her out of the water. But Guy, we saw in that other piece of video the coyotes running away. What kind of person can throw a kid into a river or leave a 3- and 5-year-old sitting out in the desert by themselves? Again, these are the folks.
They're criminal sociopaths.
Yeah.
They're criminal sociopaths. And if you look at the drug cartels are absolutely vicious. These are not people that you want to hand your safety over to and make this trek. And you're absolutely right that Joe Biden in his rhetoric, and the rhetoric from the liberal Democrats saying that we basically shouldn't have borders and we're now open to migrants, that kind of reckless talk has led to this fuel in this spike. When President Trump was in office, people knew that there wasn't going to be this catch and release. People would get deported. And again, they had an option to seek asylum in place. Now that's completely been jettisoned. And it's amazing that you see the lines of illegal immigrants coming through. And a lot of them wearing Joe Biden shirts. That's not a coincidence. They're doing it because Joe Biden has been very weak. He's perceived as weak, and his administration is perceived as being very soft on illegal immigration. But let me just go back to the Obama administration. President Obama's Secretary of Homeland Security said at the height of 1,000 captures a day on the southern border, they described that as a bad day. We're seeing numbers about 3,000 a day in the Biden administration. You can't overemphasize just how bad it is on the southern border. And again, something has to be done. And why hasn't Joe Biden been to the southern border? Why hasn't Kamala Harris been to the southern border? In fact, when she was asked if she was going to visit the southern border, she laughed.
Yeah.
To them, it's a joke.
Yeah. Well, she said all kinds of stuff when she was running for president, that I will not allow kids in cages. We'll shut this down right away. Obviously, that's not happening. Also, let's talk about the American Jobs Plan, as it's called. You might take, I think, a little bit of umbrage with that terminology, Guy.
Well, the American Jobs Plan is actually going to kill jobs. It's amazing what's in here. And I can tell you that Joe Biden came to Western Pennsylvania yesterday, came to Pittsburgh to unveil this plan. People in my district in Western Pennsylvania, some of them were fooled once when Joe Biden promised he wasn't going to ban fracking. Now, when he's promising all these jobs, they're not going to be fooled again, because a lot of the jobs that would be impacted are jobs of my constituents. This is going to hurt people, and there's going to be real economic pain with this plan. It's also amazing how much Joe Biden is considering quote unquote infrastructure in this plan. They know that they can only get this crazy far left bundle of policies through on reconciliation. So they're tying everything into this plan so they don't have to negotiate with Republicans, which is very insidious. You know, the guy that called for unity and bipartisanship, he's now bending over backwards to circumvent the filibuster and to not include Republicans in these negotiations.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. I don't know if you saw President Biden yesterday trying to get on Air Force One before he went to Pittsburgh. Another close call, guy. Gosh, I was saying before, good thing he has a handrail when he's getting on Air Force One. Do not want to see the president falling down.
Well, it's amazing that late night TV and SNL doesn't have any skits on this, or no one makes fun of it. Now, obviously, I feel bad for somebody falling, but if this would have been President Trump, he would have been mocked in the media for weeks on all the late night shows.
We don't even have to imagine about that guy. We don't even have to imagine. We saw it. We saw it at West Point when he was walking down that icy ramp with no handrail, by the way. Great job by West Point and the planning there. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. Great to see you, Guy. Thanks so much, Congressman.
Hey, you too, John. Thanks.